A little while ago, I wrote the book Mindful Loving, 10 practices to deepen all of your connections. Now, this is a book about relationships. It includes romantic relationships, yes, but it's not limited to that. It includes any kind of relationship, parent-child, friendship, work relationships, because we all live in relationships, and we all have conflicts in our relationships. And to a large extent, much of the time, we'll feel like the other person has the power over us and is doing something to us, and we feel powerless, we feel victimized, we feel like we're out of control, we feel deprived, we feel done to. We're looking at ways that we have to take back our power. We can take back our power to give ourselves joy and peace and happiness in all of our relationships, so we don't have to feel like we're victimized or deprived by other people. And a part of it is learning to regain our own internal power, our true self-identity, that puts us in a centered place and keeps us in charge of ourselves, where we are whole and complete within ourselves. We're not looking outside ourselves to be filled up by the other person, but we come in as a whole person to join with other whole people to do the dance of life or work or whatever we're doing. Now, there are a lot of things that interfere with our relationships, from our childhood imprintings that we have, the traumas that we had, the family models that we had about relationships, the beliefs that we developed about what a marriage is supposed to be like or friendships are supposed to be like. We develop beliefs about ourselves, about what we deserve or can have or can't have. All of those are affecting every relationship we have. They're causing us to print out replays of the past over and over again. In fact, even in couples therapy, we know it's effective only about 28% of the time, whereas typical psychotherapy is effective 65 to 88% of the time. Now, why is that so? And I think one of the main reasons is these basic causes are not dealt with. These earlier contributions to our disturbances in our relationships are not identified, and they're not cleared, and they're not changed. Without that taking place, all the other attempts at the surface level to try to think differently or to talk differently, communicate differently, are just not going to stick. It's going to be like trying to dam up a stream with some boards in your hand. You can do it for a little bit, but pretty soon you get tired and you have to let them go and you flow back into the old pattern. We're looking here at ways we can make substantial changes in our lives. And there are 10 tools, 10 practices that you can use on yourself, or if you're a professional doing work with couples or relationship counseling, there are practices you can use with them and teach them how to use them. Practices I use on myself all the time. In fact, where I learned these most deeply was using them on myself. So I highly recommend that you take a look at this and see how you might find more satisfying relationships for your life. The book is now in its 20th printing, and there's been a lot of positive response to it and people telling me how it's been helpful to them. And so I hope it will be for you too.